Maryland is often viewed as a beacon of prosperity on America's East Coast, fueled by its proximity to the power center of Washington, D.C. Yet 2026 economic data reveals widening cracks, especially across its rural regions and small towns. The soaring cost of living index has not been matched by equal infrastructure distribution, leaving pockets of communities geographically isolated and socially strained. From the quiet ridges of Appalachia to the marshlands of the Eastern Shore, slowly eroded by rising tides, at least 15 towns now carry the reputation of being among the state's most fragile points. This is not just about poverty or crime statistics. This is about places gradually losing their breath amid Maryland's polished image. At the crossroads of Maryland and Delaware stands Elkton, struggling to maintain stability. Ironically, its strategic location has become part of the problem. Recent public safety data shows property crime at approximately 47.6 incidents per 1,000 residents, nearly double the national average. Once known as the marriage capital for its lenient licensing laws, that identity has long faded. In its place are shuttered storefronts and apartment complexes frequently targeted for theft. Elkton's primary challenge lies in its position as a transit hub. Heavy traffic along I-95 allows offenders from outside the community to move in and out quickly, leaving residents with a persistent sense of vulnerability. Traveling west into Allegheny County, we arrive in Cumberland, a reminder of how coal and railroad prosperity can evaporate. Today, Cumberland faces a dual challenge: a 12% population decline over the past decade and an ongoing opioid crisis. Roughly 65% of local court cases are tied to synthetic substance abuse. Though its historic downtown architecture remains impressive, maintaining those aging structures has become a financial burden for a city government with shrinking revenues. Cumberland stands as a city caught in nostalgia, aware of its proud industrial past, yet without a clearly defined path toward a modern economic future. Crisfield, located in Somerset County, represents a different kind of struggle, one that is existential. Known historically for its blue crab industry, the town now faces persistent unemployment rates above 9% and ranks among the poorest in the state. Yet, its greatest threat comes from nature itself. As one of Maryland's lowest-lying communities, Crisfield is increasingly vulnerable to sea level rise. Tidal flooding has become part of everyday life, and saltwater intrusion steadily damages roads and infrastructure. Living in Crisfield means living with the fear that geography may erase the town from the map before economic recovery ever arrives. Next, Cambridge in Dorchester County presents an even sharper anomaly. Walk along its newly developed marina and you'll see luxury yachts lined up along the waterfront. But move just 3 blocks inland into residential neighborhoods, and the reality shifts dramatically. Reports show that violent crime in Cambridge reached approximately 8.12 incidents per 1,000 residents in 2026. This is compounded by significant income inequality. While the tourism sector attempts to polish the city's image, many longtime residents struggle with limited access to quality education and economic mobility. The stark divide between waterfront affluence and inland poverty creates social tension that at times spills over into community friction. Sharp contrasts are not unfamiliar here. As the county seat of Somerset County, Princess Anne should function as a regional growth center. Instead, it remains one of Maryland's most economically strained communities, with nearly 30% of residents living below the federal poverty line. Ironically, the town is home to the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, UMES, one of the state's notable institutions. Yet the presence of a major university has not generated significant trickle-down economic benefits for many local residents. Its geographic isolation, far from major industrial and employment hubs, means that young graduates often leave soon after earning their degrees, contributing to an aging and less economically dynamic population. The remoteness felt in Princess Anne becomes even more pronounced farther south. Pocomoke City, often nicknamed the friendliest town on the Eastern Shore, cannot fully mask troubling economic realities behind its welcoming image. Situated deep in southern Worcester County, the city exemplifies geographic isolation. Surrounded by farmland and marshland, it feels almost like an island disconnected from the economic momentum of central Maryland. Limited entertainment options and job opportunities for younger residents have contributed to social stagnation. While Pocomoke boasts a charming riverside setting, its tourism infrastructure remains underdeveloped, in part due to limited accessibility for visitors. Not every struggling small city suffers in isolation. Some are overwhelmed by the weight of their regional role. Salisbury, the largest city on the Eastern Shore, carries that burden heavily. As a hub for education, healthcare, and commerce, it has also become a magnet for broader urban challenges. In 2026, the city recorded an uptick in armed robbery cases. Concentrated poverty in the urban core has made homelessness increasingly visible in public parks and downtown corridors. Although Salisbury is home to a university and a major hospital system, the rising cost of living has made affordable housing harder to secure for service sector workers. There is a growing sense that the city is struggling to manage population pressures without proportional increases in public safety funding. As the central node in a largely rural and economically strained region, Salisbury often becomes the fallback destination for those leaving smaller surrounding towns, adding to social service demands that are already stretched thin. Moving inland, Hagerstown, nicknamed Hub City, sits strategically at the crossroads of I-81 and I-70. In theory, this positioning should make it a thriving distribution center. In practice, that logistical efficiency has a darker side. Its location has made Hagerstown a significant transit point for interstate drug trafficking. Property crime rates remain elevated, reaching approximately 36.8 incidents per 1,000 residents, placing homeowners at comparatively higher risk. Signs of downtown decline are visible. Once grand commercial buildings from the 1950s now sit vacant in several blocks, giving parts of the city an almost hollowed-out feel. While revitalization efforts through arts and culture initiatives are underway, persistent public safety concerns often give potential investors pause. If Hagerstown reflects the pressures of logistics and transit, Takoma Park, on the edge of Washington, D.C., illustrates a different kind of paradox. Often celebrated as a progressive and picturesque community, it presents a striking contrast between aesthetic charm and elevated property crime rates. In 2026, reported property crime reached roughly 5,737 incidents per 100,000 residents. Its direct border with Washington, D.C. contributes to spillover crime patterns common in dense metropolitan corridors. The irony is clear. Home values are high, yet many residents invest heavily in advanced security systems due to frequent vehicle theft and break-ins. Tensions sometimes emerge between long-term residents seeking to preserve the town's relaxed character and newer arrivals pushing for stricter enforcement and expanded policing, creating complex local political dynamics beneath the city's tree-lined streets. Laurel occupies a uniquely complicated administrative position, sitting at the intersection of 4 different jurisdictions. This bureaucratic fragmentation often leads to uneven coordination in addressing public safety concerns. Located along the corridor between Baltimore and Washington, D.C., Laurel frequently becomes a stage for cross-jurisdictional crime. Motor vehicle theft rates here rank among the highest in Maryland, in part because extensive highway access allows offenders to flee within minutes. Beyond safety issues, Laurel struggles with forming a cohesive civic identity. Functioning largely as a commuter city, many residents feel limited emotional attachment to the local community. As a result, neighborhood-level engagement and informal community oversight tend to be weaker than in more tightly knit towns. Hyattsville, meanwhile, has experienced rapid gentrification, and the transition has been uneven. As property values have surged, public safety indicators have shown strain. In 2026, incidents of retail theft and sporadic violence increased notably in newly developed commercial districts. The city also faces signs of economic inconsistency, including vacant commercial buildings and underperforming shopping centers. Much of Hyattsville's physical redevelopment can feel like a polished exterior layered over unresolved social issues. The widening gap between residents of luxury condominiums and those in lower-income neighborhoods has created visible tension. It illustrates how accelerated modernization, without parallel investment in social infrastructure, can foster instability rather than cohesion. Greenbelt reflects a similar challenge of unmet expectations. Originally constructed in the 1930s as a model-planned community with ample green space and cooperative ideals, the city once symbolized suburban utopia. By 2026, however, that vision appears strained. Aging historic buildings require costly renovations, while violent crime in certain apartment complexes has increased. Its proximity to Baltimore has also contributed to growing concerns about drug circulation within areas that were once considered insulated and quiet. Today, Greenbelt faces the task of preserving its founding identity while adapting to modern pressures. Beneath its tree-lined pathways lies a sense of unease among longtime residents who feel their community slowly shifting into something less familiar. So what about this town? Landover Hills is one of the smallest municipalities in Maryland, yet it consistently records a high violent crime rate per capita. The core issue here is administrative neglect. As a small town, Landover Hills is often overlooked in infrastructure funding compared to its larger neighboring cities. Public facilities are limited, and youth crime rates have gradually increased as a result. High population density combined with a lack of green space makes the town feel compressed and overcrowded. Street lighting in narrow alleys is often inadequate, creating conditions that enable illegal activity after dark. For residents, living in Landover Hills means growing accustomed to the regular sound of police sirens as part of everyday life. If Landover Hills feels crowded, the historic town of Bladensburg feels burdened by environmental strain. Known for its role in the War of 1812, Bladensburg today is more often associated with poor air quality and heavy traffic congestion. Located along a busy industrial corridor, the town faces serious environmental challenges. Noise from nearby processing facilities contributes to an atmosphere that many residents describe as unhealthy. Its economic conditions are also concerning, with poverty rates trending upward. The result is a population caught in an environment that feels strained both physically and economically, where a proud historical legacy survives mostly on weathered informational plaques. Closing the list is Oakland in Garrett County. For those unfamiliar with it, the town is geographically isolated by mountainous terrain and harsh winters. During heavy snowfall, roads can become impassable for days at a time. At the same time, Oakland's economy relies heavily on seasonal tourism. When that sector slows, the entire local economy feels the impact. Isolation also drives up logistical costs, making everyday necessities more expensive than in other parts of Maryland. Access to mental health and rehabilitation services is limited, even though long, isolated winters can intensify social and psychological strain. For year-round residents, the remoteness is not just a scenic backdrop, it is a tangible challenge of daily life in the frozen quiet of the mountains. In the end, these 15 small towns reveal a striking contrast within Maryland, one of the wealthiest states in the country. From Elkton to Oakland, the challenges they face: geographic isolation, environmental threats, public safety pressures, demonstrate that economic prosperity does not always extend evenly to every corner of the map.